Hey guys, thanks for stopping by my channel. My name is Fatima and welcome to the Soul Beauty Chat. This is a space where we have authentically vulnerable conversations about faith, soul, and beauty. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 4 tips for being your authentic self. In my last video, I helped you to identify if you were not being your most authentic self. And now, of course, you guys know I'm going to give you the solution, right? So if you're ready, this video actually might require you taking some notes, but these are very practical things that you could just sit here and listen to me say them. But honestly, the only way you're going to see a difference in your life is if you implement the things that you're learning here today. So the first tip, make a decision that you are ready to stop living this false life. Make a decision that you are ready to change your life. Make that decision, make that vow to yourself. I'll share a little bit about my story just because I've gotten quite a bit of new subscribers. Hello to all of you. Thank you for joining. Comment down below with hashtag SBCFam. Let me know where you're from. Let me know what made you subscribe. But I just want to share a little bit of background. So at the beginning of this year, I made a video called Thank You But Goodbye. I'll put it up in the corner if you want to check it out after this video. And in that video, I talked about how I had struggled with this identity of being an introvert for my entire life. For as long as I can remember, I was an introvert. I labeled myself as an introvert. Everyone else labeled me as an introvert. And I almost found like this peace in being like, okay, this explains why I'm like this. This explains why I don't like social interactions and social activities and why I don't like talking to people. This explains all of these feelings that I have, right? But through some cognitive therapy, which I recommend everyone try if you can afford it, and if if something that you can include in your lifestyle, do it. But through therapy, journaling, praying, spending time with God, doing my self-care practices, I really got to that point where I realized that, that whole introvert story that I have been telling myself for the past couple years really wasn't true. When I really stripped back the layers and I thought about, who was Fatima before this label? Who was Fatima before YouTube and before the blog and before the subscribers? Who was Fatima? Fatima was very outgoing, very playful, very adventurous, very much the life of the party, very much the person that was making everybody laugh. And even though I'm naturally very reserved, I still had that side of me, that side of me that wasn't introverted at all. But over time and over dealing with a lot of fear, dealing with a lot of rejection, dealing with a lot of doubt, lack of confidence, I started to feed myself this narrative of you're an introvert. And that was my way of protecting myself. It was my way of putting myself in a bubble and not feeling guilty about it and sharing with the world that this is who I am and you either take it or leave it. But in all actuality, I was just hiding that innocent, vulnerable, playful little girl on the inside that just wanted to be herself but was so afraid of what other people would think. So I covered that up with being an introvert. I covered that up with not going to social outings. And if I did go, I would just stand on the outside and kind of like just talk to maybe like 1 or 2 people that I came with, but never really stepping out of my comfort zone, never really challenging myself or pushing myself. And I felt so limited. There were so many times where I would go somewhere and I would just be watching people have fun. And I would just be almost envious of like, man, I wish that I could be that way, And now after making a decision to take this leap of faith and to stop living a life in fear and to start living a life of faith, I've completely changed myself, my life, the opportunities that are coming to me. And it's just crazy. It's mind-blowing. If you've been following my vlog series, my soul beauty journey, I'll link that up there too. You can see all of the stuff that I've been doing, but it's so different from this idea of who I was that I had constructed in my mind. But the reason why you see the changes in me in my videos and you guys comment and say like you see a difference in me, and even my friends and people close to me say that they see a difference in me, and all these new opportunities are coming in my life, all these really big things are coming into my life, it's because I made a decision. I made a decision that I was going to change that narrative. And you have to do the same thing. If you realize that you're not being your most authentic self and you've been serving up this BS story to yourself and to everyone around you in order to protect yourself from who you really want to be, you have to make a decision to change that right now. So that's step number one. Number two is you have to acknowledge that you've been holding yourself back. For me, the decision and the acknowledgement came hand in hand. It was like once I realized all of the things that I was limiting myself from, that's when I was like, I need to make a decision. You know, I was like, something doesn't feel right. I'm noticing that like, this is who I actually want to be, but this is who I'm pretending to be. And I had to acknowledge that I was limiting myself in some way in order to really get that fire under me and say, you know what, something has to change. Something has to change. And that really big shift started happening for me late last year. I just started documenting it in January because that's when I had the words to articulate it. But at the end of last year, I remember having the same feeling and I just didn't know how to express it yet. So tip number two is to acknowledge that you've been holding yourself back. Tip number three is to forgive yourself for doing so. I'm not gonna lie, it was almost heartbreaking once I realized that, you know, I had been living this lie almost, that I had been living in this identity of being this shy, introverted person, when in all actuality, I wanted to play, I wanted to go out and meet people, I wanted to be social, I wanted to be the person dancing at the party, I wanted to be the person, you know, bold and confident and standing in her womanness. I wanted to be that person. And I had to forgive myself for all the opportunities that I robbed myself of having that moment. And that was tough. It took a lot of tears. It took a lot of prayer journaling and a lot of talking to God and a lot of just spending time with myself and just really, really getting to that point of forgiving myself and being like, it's okay. You know, you may have missed out on that opportunity. You may have not had as much fun as you could have had if you had gotten out of your shell. You may have, you know, missed out on a few things here or there, but it's okay because we're making a decision moving forward that we're not living that way anymore. And you actually have to apologize to yourself. I know that may sound crazy, but you actually have to apologize to yourself. And then tip number four is that you have to accept that you're taking off this old identity and you have to start taking action. Accepting goes hand in hand with taking action. You can accept and just sit and say, okay, I accept this and don't do anything about it, but that's not true acceptance. True acceptance is saying, I accept this, but what am I going to do to make an effort to change this? And that is the fourth tip that I want to share with you guys. And I really hope that this video was helpful. I know that it was a lot. I know that we touched on a lot. But honestly, this is me sharing my truth with you guys. And I'm just so honored that I get to do so on a platform like YouTube because I genuinely love creating content for you guys. But something that I've done because I have been on this journey and people are watching me on this journey. And I don't want to just inspire you to a point where you're like, oh, that's cool. She could do that. You know, she can travel alone. She can, you know, work with doves. She can do this. You can do whatever it is that you are called to do as well, but you have to start making some changes in your life. So one of the things that I have done recently and I'm so excited about is I created a group coaching program called From Fear to Faith. If you guys don't know, I am a Christian life coach and career coach, and I usually work with people one-on-one, but God has just been tugging at my heart to make something that can help a larger group of people for a more affordable price. So that's what this program is. So if this spoke to you in any way and you feel like you're ready to stop living the life in fear and to stop standing on the sidelines and just watching life pass you by and really get in life and start walking in your purpose and doing it in a way that aligns with God's will for your life, I really would encourage you to check out this program. The information will be down below, of course. And like I said, it's affordable. This is probably the most affordable service that I've ever offered because I usually work with people one-on-one, which is a much higher price. But I really want to help and work with as many women as possible, or men, honestly. If you are interested in learning more about this group coaching program, you can click the link down in the description box. I am so excited and I cannot wait to work with you guys. Before you head out, what I want you to do is make sure you are subscribed to my channel, of course. Turn on your notifications. Notification gang, thumbs up this video if you found it helpful. And also, guys, something that you can really do to help me out, to help this channel out, is to share my videos. If you find them helpful, share them with a friend, share them on your social media pages. Share them, because, you know, talking about the Lord doesn't really get you a lot of viewership, and you know, that's okay. I knew that when I made that decision to switch my content, but I really do feel like, you know, what God has placed on my heart to share can help and bless a lot of people. So if you know any friends or anyone that needs this information, share it with them. And as always, comment down below and let me know your experience with living your most authentic life. I know some of you shared that you were interested in starting to live and really explore the soul beauty journey with me once I announced it back in January. So let me know how it's going. Let me know what new things you have been doing. Have you had any amazing opportunities come out of this by stepping out of your comfort zone? I can't wait to hear from you guys in the comment section, and I will see you in the next video. Deuces. If you enjoyed this video, head over to my website, SOULBEAUTYCHAT.com, and sign up to learn more about the 6-week group coaching program, From Fear to Faith. In this program, I'll be teaching you exactly how you can stop living the life in fear and finally start walking in your purpose. So I have been reading this book. Well, I finished it actually, but I started reading this book a few months ago, The Gifts of Imperfections by Brene Brown. And I picked up this book because honestly, you know that quote, the teacher will appear when the student is ready? I felt like I had seen this book so many times on like all these bestseller lists, but I never picked it up because I didn't feel like I was ready. And at this season that in my life where I was a few months ago when I first started this whole journey on really living my most authentic life, I stumbled across this book again and I bought it, and it just spoke to my soul so much. So if you are in the same space and, you know, maybe you can't afford to work with me for my group coaching program or whatever the case may be, but you still want to, you know, explore this journey, I would highly recommend that you check out this book. And of course, the link will be down in the description box.